Good morning, guys. It is Wednesday morning. It is... I'm tired. It's around 12-ish, noon-ish, and so far my day has been very emotional. I've been crying, that's why I look like I'm looking. But gonna start off with my essay calendar, and then we're gonna go on. So today I opened 2 boxes because I am going away tomorrow evening. Me and Christopher is leaving to his parents' place, and therefore the 23rd and the 24th on my calendar I won't be opening at home, and I'm not going to take that calendar with me because it's huge and big. So instead I decided that today I got to open 2 and tomorrow I get to open 2, and then I finish my calendar. So the first thing that was for day 21, which is today, I got this, which is a primer, and it's one of those primers that corrects yellow nails. So you put 2 layers of this, 1 to 2 layers on your nails, and then you just let it dry, and then you kind of color correct your nails. And this is very good for when you have those very like see-through polishes. If you just want to use something like this, just the glitter one, then you can do that. My sister actually came over yesterday because she had some gifts for me. She had a pair of boots, these cool kind of see-through boots. They're like plastic wellies, boots thingies. They're see-through, so you're supposed to have your cool hand-knitted socks in them. So I got a pair of those, and then she had 2 pairs of balls to knit socks from. I knitted a pair of socks that she got, so she said she would switch them for some balls of yarn, so I got those. And then I got another Rågskog, so now I have 3 of these, so I'm going to build it up, and I'm going to have, I'm not sure if I'm going to have my kind of all the supplies for my store in there, or if I'm going to have my sewing stuff. I'm thinking about having my sewing stuff in there because it's going to make it easier to kind of go around and just do... I want to start sewing more. I want to make more things with fabric. So that is the kind of plan. She had one more of the teal ones. This one. So yeah, I wanted that. Yeah, and the story of I painted her nails yesterday. She came like she wanted to go and buy nail polish, and then I could paint her, and then I said, why not use my nail polishes? I have so many. And she's like, yeah, that's an awesome idea. So I gave her all the kind of base things and stuff, and then she used this which is called Peach Daiquiri. So she had that. And then we added a little bit of glitter. So that's why my glitter is out. So the second thing I got from my essay calendar was these. So I got a little bit disappointed because I don't paint my toenails, because I don't like my feet, so they are rarely shown. But I do have a very nice pair of sandals. So I'm thinking about, as we are going to Miami in March, I might fix them then, but I have these then for that. And now I have 2 more days on my calendar, and then that is done. So on to the emotional things. It's not, I don't have a diagnosis yet, so it's not fully clear, but I finally got in touch with my doctor. He called me yesterday and I missed the phone call, which was a little bit tough. But he called me today. First I called and checked if he was going to call me, and he was going to call me, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I got the test results back. My cortisol levels are low, so I do have some kind of Addison's. Having a low cortisol shows that you have Addison's. Now you have 3 different ways, 3 different kinds of Addison's. I talked about that before, so it could be either of them. He did made me kind of, because he can't treat me. He's my GP. He can't treat this issue. Basically, it's my Ruma that needs to take care of this, and if she can't take care of it, she needs to put me in touch with an endocrine doctor to fully test this out. But anyhow, there's 3 different Addisons, and with the tests that he said has some discrepancies, it might actually be any of the 3. Before I thought it would either the primary or the tertiary. The primary is when your adrenal glands get destroyed by autoimmune disease, which, because I have a lot of autoimmune diseases, wouldn't be strange. The third one is if you're treated for a long time with cortisone, your adrenal gland can stop producing cortisol. So that's tertiary. The secondary is when the glands in your brain are not producing the correct hormones. And because of some discrepancies, now it can just be a natural low value. So it's the chance of it being secondary is very low, because the difference in value, it's just a little bit lower than the limit. So it's not a big difference, but it could be the glands in my head that's having problems. Even though I had that brain scan, I read up on it. Sometimes it doesn't show up on the brain scans. So yeah. So I'm all emotional, and it goes up and down and up and down and up and down, because 1 second I'm happy because they finally found something, the test finally showed something, and we can treat this, which is like it's treatable. You will never be, it's not curable, but it's treatable. And it might mean that I can go back to work full time and everything. And it's like, what? Understand, this is the biggest thing that has happened for a very, very long time. I might get almost to normal. So for me, that is, it's huge. So it makes me really, really happy. At the same time, I'm very, very worried, because I have to take this with my Ruma, who's showed in the past that she's not really interested in handling my care. Also, it means that when we have made the proper diagnosis and everything, this is a pretty big disease. I need to wear a brace. If this is proper Addison, I will be needing to have a bracelet showing that I have Addison's. Because if I'm in an accident or something like that, they need to have like really high doses of cortisone, because I don't produce stress hormones myself. But it's a big relief. In one case, very big relief. I might get good again, which is awesome. But yeah, it's probably a pretty long journey. But I'm hoping that my room at least can raise my cortisone levels enough for me to feel a little bit better, because right now I'm not feeling good at all. So yeah. So emotional, everything is emotional. And right now, because I am emotional, all my issues getting worse. But yeah, that is my morning. So good morning, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. It is time for me to head to bed. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded any videos in the last couple of days, but it's been a rough couple of days, to say it least. I've been talking a lot to my mom and Christopher and my sister, and I kind of gotten on a better level. I am considering to actually, I'm gonna talk to my Ruma on Tuesday I think it was, and I am going to tell them I'm so sorry. I'm really gonna say that I'm sorry if I got all emotional and everything. It wasn't, now standing away from it a little bit, I can understand. I just felt very, very left alone there. So hopefully she will understand. I think I'm taking out a lot of my insecurities, because I just changed my Ruma, because my other Ruma just didn't do her job. So I'm think I'm taking that out on her, so I'm gonna say I'm sorry. And hopefully that can work out. I don't want to make her angry with me. I don't want to do that. So I hopefully can do that. But anyhow, I been spending the most of the evening just reading and reading and reading and reading and reading a little bit more. A lot of my previous kind of studies on this issue has been reading like American literature, reading from American clinics and stuff like that. Today I actually been reading Swedish research when it comes to it, and Swedish, there we have something that's similar to FDA here in Sweden, which called Läkemedelsverket, for if you are Swedish. They kind of they are the ones that say or nay if a medication is allowed to be out and about. That's one of the things they do. And they have a kind of medication book which is online on the internet. It's in Swedish, and there they kind of take up not all diseases. I don't know which diseases because I haven't read the introduction of it, but they have a few different things that they kind of really go into. This is a book for doctors, and they really go into what's happening when certain diseases happened and why and everything. I think it is when you have those that are medical induced or something. I don't know, but there's a lot of like around it, and it's a lot about talking about which kind of tests you need to get done, in which order, what they will show, stuff like that. And the way I found it was that I actually was searching for the cortisol tests that I had done, that is low, and I figured out a few things. One being that the low cortisol value shows that I do have an insufficiency. However, we need to probably take another one to verify that it is a low dose or a low. But now I have gone up on cortisone because I was so sick without it. So I don't know how much that will kind of impact the test. But I have a low cortisol, which also means that they want to take tests that isn't a static value. There is 3 different tests, one called ACTH, which checks the other hormone that the adrenal glands produces, and that you check if that is high or if it's medium or low. If that value is high, it shows that you have a low production of that hormone. A lot of these tests doesn't actually test the hormone itself. It actually tests the contra value. So basically, when if the hormone was high, it will kind of eat up this kind of other substance in your body, so then it will be automatically low. But if the hormone has low values, it doesn't eat as much of the other substance, so that substance will be high. Yeah, and you have to know that when you read the tests. But anyhow, so that will show if it is my adrenal glands that is causing this or if it's something else. And then there is 2 other tests that you can take, and all of these tests are not 100% sure. The other 2 tests are the tests that you need to kind of introduce a substance into the body to see how it reacts, because when introducing that substance, the adrenal glands is supposed to produce more cortisol to kind of interact. And if it doesn't, then you have what is called adrenal gland insufficiency, which is basically Addison's. So and how that Addison is, the reasons for it, there is a lot of different reasons. And when it comes to me, my doctor told me that my TSH value has gone up, which say that you have thyroid. That's what they're called. They're called thyroid issues. And also I don't have any estrogen, so I also have problems with that part of the endocrine system. And that says that I probably not have a primary Addison. I probably have a secondary Addison due to the glands, pituitary glands, I think it's called, which produces the hormones, and that in that case actually gets told by another gland that you have at back of your skull, basically in the middle of your brain, just underneath your brain. So that might be the issue. However, we do know that I did brain test just a couple of months ago, and they didn't show any abnormalities. So I don't know what could be wrong. But yeah, there's a lot of those things going on in my brain right now, and that I need to teach me this, and then I need to convince my GP, which is usually not so hard to convince, but this is kind of out of his comfort zone. So I should really have an endocrine specialist. Endocrine specialists have been known to turn me down, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. That is what's doing, and all of this just about to become Christmas. So in Sweden there won't be any doctors around at Christmas. So we'll see when I get to talk to my doctors and fix everything. So it's been a rough day, but slowly I'm starting to get onto the positive side. And here's the thing, this is one thing that shows that I do not have depressive and psychological issues, because if you had a depression and you would be faced with this, you wouldn't go out of it standing tall. You would go right into a wall. You would cuddle up in the covers and you would do nothing. And all I do is fight. So I don't have a psychological issue about this. And it's kind of nice knowing that it isn't. But yeah, I really like reading about the diseases because it's interesting, but I wish I didn't have to. But yeah, I am going to head to bed, so good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Bye.